Hey, what's up guys, this is TPC, aka the Programming Cuber, and today I have a review of the YuXin 4x4. So I will be structuring my reviews differently from now on. In the first section, I will have a very short review that is planned out, not exactly scripted, but definitely planned out, very short, concise, just like my scripted reviews were before. These are for the kind of impatient people who just want a really quick opinion on it, or a really quick, very technical review. The second part will be a lot of opinions by me. It will be a unscripted kind of discussion about the deep details of this cube. I realized that with my super quick scripted reviews, I lost a lot of my opinions on the cubes. Obviously, it added more structure, but also took away from the overall what you get from the review. And actually, I don't remember the person's username, but someone suggested this. I'll put the username right up here, so I want to say thank you to them because, first of all, they said a lot of kind words, so it was really nice. They wrote a really nice comment, and also, they suggested this, and I actually had been thinking about it before they suggested it, but to have a viewer suggest it themselves kind of pushed me over the fence, and I am now doing a more opinionated review. So, without further ado, let's get on with the first section, the concise, very technical review. So this puzzle is only $14 at TheCubicle.us, and thus if you do not already have a really nice 4x4, or you have a Shengshao 4x4 and would like to have some kind of upgrade, I already recommend you get this cube. However, if you have an Aosu and are wondering if this is an improvement, watch on. This puzzle is a standard 62mm, making it the same size as the Shengshao and Moyu Aosu 4x4s. The stock stickers of these cubes were quite interesting. They contrast as well and were pretty bright, however they were also matte finished, which is quite different from anything we've seen so far. They feel a little bit slippery, but otherwise they were pretty okay. Of course, since then I have replaced them with my preferred set, which says something about my opinion on the cube. Well, not exactly, considering I replaced the stickers of everything, including the Moyu Dianma. Yeah. So the turning of this cube is extremely smooth and very fast. Algorithms flow pretty well and are quite fast on this cube. In comparison to the Aosu, it is about the same speed. However, I believe the outer layers might be a little bit faster. Depends on the way you set it up though. The middle layers are very slightly slower, but I did manage to get them quite a lot faster than they came. The corner cutting of this cube is quite good. It lives up to the standards of the Moyu Aosu. Regular corner cutting is almost up to a piece, and the reverse is about half a cubie. Throughout pretty much all layers, the corner cutting is about the same, which is actually very good for a 4x4. As you saw in the turning section, lockups and pops are fairly frequent depending on how rough you are on the cube. I found that during random fast algorithms, it did pop quite a lot, but actually during a solve, I would not lock up all too much. So I think that was just me being a little too rough with the 4x4. And it was pretty much my fault. Also, I don't speed cube 4x4s, so my accuracy is pretty terrible. So overall, the cube does lock up and pop a little bit, but I'm sure if you got to know it and control it, you would be quite good with it. Now, I'm not going to show the mechanism because it's fairly generic, and also I don't know any way to really review a mechanism. I only do that for 3x3s because that's the only one I'm knowledgeable on. I will say though that the pieces fit very close together on this puzzle, thus causing a little bit of that locking up and friction. But if you lubricate it very well, it works nicely. So what are my final thoughts on this cube? It's really great. I recommend it to pretty much anybody. However, if you already have the Aosu and you don't want to spend the extra $14, I would say just stick with the Aosu. There isn't too much different with this cube. However, if you are a collector, then definitely buy this cube. If you don't have an Aosu, if you only have a Shengshao, definitely get this cube because it is quite a lot cheaper than an Aosu. And if you don't have a 4x4 at all, get this cube, sure. It's only a little bit more expensive than a Shengshao, and if you plan on upgrading in the future, why not just spend the money now? So now we are entering the unscripted discussion portion of the review. So before this was a nice, concise little review. It wasn't actually scripted, however, I did plan it, and if you check out the bloopers video in the comments, you'll see how many times I messed up what I planned to say. Anyway, now we get to some unscripted, the programming cube, discussing a cube. So, as I mentioned before, I don't speak cube 4x4. I don't know Yao. Of course, you can just use Redux, and I don't even know that advanced Redux either, so it's pretty much a fail situation. So, you know, I don't know Yao, nor do I know very advanced Redux. I average like 130, something like that, so I'm not very good at all. I would say I'm pretty good for the method I'm using, because it's a bad method, and I don't know how fast some other people would be with it. Anyway, the point is, I'm not very good at 4x4, but I'm going to try to give some kind of opinion here. So let's bring out the Yaosu. It's a discussion. Let's do some comparisons. So the YuXin 4x4, I find, has this looser, kind of, not flimsy, not floppy, I don't know. It just has that, the best way I could describe it is flimsy, even though it's not very flimsy. It's quite loose. It kind of has that nice loose feeling, loose, fast feeling that you would find in something such as the Alone version 1, which is, of course, my beloved main 3x3 for the past 10 months, and I love it. So that's probably why I really like the YuXin 4x4. And yes, the YuXin 4x4 is my main at the moment. I prefer it over the Yaosu. Now, the Yaosu seems to have a bit more of a blocky, not blocky, kind of more blocky, more stable type feeling. It has, I don't know. To me, it feels slightly blocky in comparison to the YuXin 4x4. The YuXin 4x4 feels more flowy and loose, but the Yaosu kind of has a blocky feel. Now, be aware that my Yaosu is not very well set up because I accidentally, very slightly overlubed it, not very much, and I was able to just wipe it out, but I'm not sure how well I did with wiping it out. And I also have not, I've done a fair amount of solves on it. It's been my it's been my main 4x4 since I got it, until I got the YuXin, but it's, I don't know, it's pretty nice. It's still a really nice cube, it's still really smooth, but to me it feels a lot more blocky, and I just really like the kind of flowing, loose feel that the YuXin 4x4 has. It really reminds me of my Moyu Allen version 1, for some reason. Even though obviously this is a lot smoother, this still kind of has a sandy feel, but that'll go away if I break it in more. So, it just kind of reminds me of the nice flimsy feel. So, I guess if you like that flimsy feel, if you're an Along version 1 lover such as me, you might like the YuXin 4x4. But you can't be sure of that because the Cubologist really likes the Along version 1 as well. It's also been his main for a very long time. And he does not like the YuXin 4x4. He likes the Mini Yaosu, I believe. So, you can't exactly base everything off of that. But to me, the YuXin just feels more flowy and, I don't know. I think the main problem a lot of people had with the YuXin is the center layers. And I can understand that. They are a bit slow. Of course, I'm not very fast, so I don't mind, first of all. And also, I was able to get my middle layers fairly fast just by lubing it on top. So I lubed on top of the pieces here. Okay, sorry about that grandparent interruption. Anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, I basically lube this kind of in a special way. So if you know anything about 4x4 mechanisms, if you know at least a little bit about it, you'll know that the alignment mechanism makes it so that the core will always follow one side when it turns. So if you can see here, it follows this left side. Thus, I would lube directly under the right side because that's where the friction is actually happening. I used a bit of a thicker lubricant. I used weight 3 so that it would stay in there and keep it lubricated, and it actually worked pretty well. I got them almost the same speed, which is actually really nice. So my final thoughts on this is, the Yaosu is a very, very good cube, and a lot of people still stuck with the Yaosu, but some people did switch over to the YuXin. And it really depends on what you like in a cube. In my opinion, it seems that my Aosu feels a little more blocky and my YuXin feels more loose, but I don't think everybody's 4x4 kind of feels like that, because my Aosu is not super great. Some people have amazing Aosus and they would never give up their Aosu. But for me, the YuXin feels more loose, feels more just, I don't know, loose is the only way I can describe the difference. There's definitely a difference. I would recommend finding someone with a YuXin if you're really indecisive. Find someone with a YuXin and try their YuXin 4x4, compare it, see what you like. And that's really what you should do for any cube that you're indecisive about. Some cubes, maybe you can just base it off a review, but a lot of cubes you do have to try in person to get a good opinion on it. So, that's about it. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.